What's going on, guys? It is MurderInc here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we're going to be talking about the insanity that is Hexia after this whole rebalance patch. Now, I went over Hexia in our earlier video and I said her kit would only make sense if her multipliers were changed enough to where she's hitting hard, but I didn't expect to find what we're going to see here. The first thing we're going to do is, like we saw at the end of the last video, we're going to head straight to the campaign, see what she can do. Okay, that means I have 30 minutes to record this video. Challenge accepted. Let's take a look at what a level 60 Hexia can do in 12-6 Brutal. Just for a little idea on her kit, how hard she can hit, 122,000. It gets me every time, it really does. Yes, she's single target, but the numbers are just too much fun. 82,000. We have some weak hits going on. 100,000 again. I just can't help but smile. Big numbers are my thing, and you love to see it. 100,000 again. 156,000. Let's go. 74, 70. Okay. Now that you got the sneak peek there, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go and do a dragon run. Try to fade out her max potential. I'll go over her gear, then we're heading straight into the arena for some arena memes to see if we can flex on some really good teams with our Hexia here. So the first thing that we have to think about is who's going to have the best synergy with Hexia. This brings us to a good point. Let's go over what this champion actually does so you guys aren't sitting there and have no idea what's going on. Okay, so she's an A1, it hits 1 times, has a 40% chance of placing a strong defense down. The chance increases by 20% for each debuff placed on this champion. And we have an A2, hits 1 time, really hard, grants an extra turn, and places an attack up. If this attack kills the champion, which is very likely, damage increases by 7.5% for each debuff on this champion, stacking up to 30. A3 attacks 1 enemy, heals this champion by 15% of the damage. As we saw, she hits very hard, so this is pretty much a full heal. Places a 30% increased speed buff on this champion for 2 turns. And as far as her aura, she has increases ally attack in all factions. That doesn't really matter. So this is her kit. I have her in savage gear and cruel gear. She's out here taking names, that's for sure. We also have her in helm smasher and the support tree. So what I was getting at is, who is this second champion that's going to have great synergy? It is in fact going to be our friend Gerptuck Mossbeard. Putting those poisons on her, she does have Stoke to Fury as a talent, so she's getting even more damage for that. So let's take this through a run, and since we're not in a rush, we'll do 1 times. Actually, we won't do 1 time speed. Let's see how hard her first hit is going to do. 260,000 damage on that. I don't even know what it was. A2, A3, I don't even care. Ton of damage. Bottom line, she does a ton of damage. This can definitely be huge for a lot of players, especially who are progressing through dungeons, looking for that single hit champion to get rid of like these Hordens here, for example, or the Apothecary if the speed boost is really messing up your team's synergy and your flow. But overall, she's proving to be a really fun champion. We just saw 250,000 there. Lots of fun. Let's see what we can do in the dragon. This is pretty much going to come down to if we get that defense down and weaken onto the boss. So let's see what Draco decides to do next before we fill up on too many of these poisons here. So no defense down and weaken just yet. I'm looking for a big hit. Can we get it? We have 8. Okay, and of course it gets resisted, so we only hit for 170,000 on that A1 ability, which is still definitely a lot of damage. And Xavi is going to debuff snap to one-shot the boss. And we have our super stable servers going on. I mean, one thing that is impressive, 1 minute and 14 seconds with a team like this. Usually when I'm showcasing champions, I get 2 minutes, just under 2 minutes, or just over 2 minutes, but 1 minute and 14 seconds isn't bad for a dragon clear. Granted, it doesn't compete with some of those speed clears that you see with champions like Xavia, Kymar, and Dracomorph, but still the fact that she could pull up a time that quickly is pretty impressive. and for the fact that I did switch it onto 1 speed at the start. Alright guys, so we did the dragon run, she did insane gear. Unfortunately, the plarium servers decided to shut down, followed by a long maintenance, and so now I've finally been able to get back on. Let's go over how I geared this Hexia. As you can see, she is in a cruel set as well as a savage set. I gave her insane stats, 6,000 attack, 270% crit damage in a savage set, which is awesome, as well as the Helm Smasher talent. So now that we saw what she did in Dragon, and she ended up doing the most damage in that run, even though you actually weren't able to see the recap, let's take her into the arena and see what kind of madness, and see what this champion can actually do against other champions, and pretty much why I consider her, I guess, the new Red Affinity Rhodos. Even though she doesn't have a block revive, that was kind of hindered on the current meta of Rhodos now. We're going to give her a shot and see how much damage this Hexia can actually do. So let's start off in the arena by facing this team right here with the Rhodos. Let's see if the Rhodos 2.0, which is Hexia, is a match for the current Rhodos. She only has a single hit. There is that, I guess, disadvantage there as far as what's going to happen. But let's see. We really don't want to get CC'd here, so let's try to push the turn meter ahead. Okay, it looks like I wasn't able to push it ahead just enough. So she's going to be hitting the unkillable debuff there. Still 60. Oh, and she counterattacked and went again. Okay, I was a little bit confused about that, so we're gonna have to wait until this unkillable wears off. As you can see, the counterattack just absolutely destroying everybody there. You love to see it. She's proving to hit extremely hard, and it really is a good sign. Okay, we cleansed that. Let's see if we can cleanse Hexia now. We give her freedom to attack whoever she wants. Perfect. Let's hit this Arbiter with the A2 now. Easy one shot, 81,000 damage. Now let's use our A3 against, you know, we'll use the A1 against the Kaimar here. 57,000 damage with no defense down. That's the key takeaway here. Turn meter boost. We'll take some damage away from Rhodos. See if he eventually burns. Okay, he's not going to burn below the proper experience, or the proper HP rather. We're going to get a counterattack here, so now it's Hexia versus Rhodos. Let's hit him with that A3. She's going to give herself a speed boost. Let's see. Does she have what it takes to kill? Yes, she does. So we did have the affinity advantage there. However, Hexia is definitely a problem in the arena. Now let's take a look at this team. This can definitely be scary. We want to make sure that Hexia actually gets the chance to go, because if not, she is 100% going to get one shot by this Trunda. And they do have 2 turn meter boosters, so that can also prove to be a huge problem. Okay, so we ended up going. Let's try to 1-2 combo this Arbiter and Sifi. Should be A1. You know what? Let's A3 against the Sifi here. 134,000 damage without defense down. So incredible damage being done here. And hopefully this Trunda doesn't one-shot everyone on the team. Okay, perfect. So we ended up getting a little bit lucky there. And we're pretty much just waiting for Hexia's turn again. And if she was an AoE, she would definitely be way too broken. So this was definitely needed, in my opinion at least. We can kind of hit auto. And as we can see, ally protection, Hexia making quick work of this champion. So I would personally love to see a lot of people running Hexia. Granted, I have insane gear on her, but the fact that I'm hitting for 80,000, over 100,000 in savage gear and very high stats, you don't need to be hitting that hard. No one's building 80,000 or 100,000 health on their champions with the defense that these champions have, especially someone like a Sifi who is definitely rather tanky with their base kit. Build Hexia with a reasonable amount of attack, which would probably be in the gold 4 setting, 4,000 to 5,000 attack, get her crit damage above 240%, and she's going to be one-shotting people as long as they aren't green affinity. Now let's take a look at this really interesting matchup. We are going to do Hexia versus Kandra. Now this is going to be really interesting. We're actually not going to use our blue affinity to Thalia. We are going to instead use a Lysandra to make sure that we can in fact cut in here if we are fast enough. If we're not, they're going to go first. We'll see how this plays out. So we did get to go first, which is nice. Now Valkyrie is going to use that counterattack. Now we are going to, yeah, let's buff ourselves here and hopefully we go next. Another turn meter boost. Now it is Hexia's turn. So we are going to make hopefully quick work of Arbiter. And we'll finish it off with trying to figure out who the bigger problem is going to be. Let's just go with Madame Ceres, even though we're going to lose our counterattack buff on her. Now we'll go with Warlord here. He ended up using his A3 since we have the Veil buff active. So we're stuck with simple A1s here. Let's see what okay, so their Cantraphone's actually extremely slow, which is definitely not a good sign. So he was able to kill the Hexia, however nobody else. And you hate to see it. This is probably going to be finish off this match here. So interesting battle. I did go first, so it was kind of expected in the end for me to win. However, there were a lot of people saying how strong Kandra is. He definitely needs a defense down. I've seen him in use before. And for someone like Hexia to come in here, not needing a defense down, one-shotting everyone, doing as much damage as we're seeing is actually quite shocking. And let's fight this team just because you love to see in a lane this high into gold 4. Let's go ahead with another battle here. We're definitely going to go first with this double turn meter down. We have our counterattack here, cutting them off. And finally, A2, followed by an A1, just insane damage. We'll throw this on auto now. What I'm going to try in the next run, since I am curious, is what Hexia does on auto if we just let this battle go. I actually haven't tested that out just yet. So in the next battle we do, I'm going to be looking at to see how smart her AI is. Is she going to one-shot someone with their A2 and then move to the A1 or the A3? Is obviously the A3 is hitting significantly harder, as we saw there, 99,000, probably without a Helm Smasher proc. So after this battle, we're going to see what she tries to favor while she is attacking. So for this AI test, we're actually going to go against another Arbiter and Sifi here. Let's throw this on auto and see what she decides to do. Okay, so she went for the damage dealer first. She does use her A2 and A3, which is good. However, I didn't click on the proper targets, so there definitely is a slight disadvantage there. Now that we have defense up and we already saw what we needed to see, let's see how much damage an A1 can actually do against a full. Okay, so we just one-shot a Sifi with defense up with only an A1. That's pretty incredible, no matter how you look at it. And yeah, I don't know, I was not expecting that. So she is doing a ton of damage. You love to see it. Okay, obviously we're gonna get one shot there. So let's kind of wrap this battle up here. Hopefully we don't lose and I didn't get too comfortable. We do have defense down on everybody. Okay, so it looks like we actually are going to lose this because I improperly clicked on the right champions, but once again, the fact that Hexia just one-shot a CP with her A1 with defense up buff and she was at full health, not something I would expect to see, especially from an epic champion. There are definitely not many. I mean, I've had problems with my Trunda trying to one-shot a Sifi with a defense up buff. The fact that Hexia can do it, granted, maybe this team didn't have the best gear on her champions, but regardless, I almost want to see it again, but I don't want to lose again, so we'll let this play out like normal. And we'll make sure that we're targeting the proper targets here. So we're going to A2, 100,000. Now we're going to A3, 123,000. Now we'll just let this go, and this is going to be a proper match now that we picked the right targets here. It would be nice if there was a way in game for the arena to kind of let you set the preference of the target. So on defense, you kind of, I don't know, something like a drop down list saying always target these champions first. If they're ever on the team. That would be a pretty cool, I guess, quality of life thing for the arena. Let me know what you guys think. They can definitely do a lot with this to make this more, I guess real-time action isn't the right word because it would still be AI, but something where you can actually guide your champions into making smarter decisions on defense, because everyone knows no matter how good your champions are, there can be major downfall and side effects of champions when you throw them on your defense, because either you're not sure how they're going to play out, or we know how they're going to play out based on certain interactions, and it's absolutely awful if you're trying to win. So the last thing we're going to talk about here today with Hexia is actually going to be Clan Boss. Now, if you're going to use her in Clan Boss, you're probably going to want to use her in a unkillable team. She definitely has the option to be used in a normal live-long team. However, her base defense is extremely low, making her an extremely hard champion to actually build if you want to build her in some type of sustain or tanky team. She does have the ability to, if enough debuffs are placed on her, to place that defense down. So if you want to put her in an unkillable, you can definitely pair her someone like Gerptuck Mossbeard, placing those debuffs on her where she will in fact have that 100% chance to apply that decreased defense if you wanted to build her with accuracy. However, that's probably not the way to go. Use a Razin with someone like Hexia, and we can definitely see some massive damage coming from her. Now, she's not going to be getting any benefit from that A2 ability, and she does have an increased speed on her A3. It is a 3-turn cooldown, which is the good news since the Clan Boss has 3 turns. So if you want to, you can speed tune this and take into consideration that 30% speed buff if you want to do some math, or you can just throw her into a speed team, see how well she does, use her with someone like a Valkyrie, and rely on the Valkyrie shields, possibly an ally attack, or some type of reviver to keep Hexia alive. And she's definitely going to do some massive damage for you, because a lot of these numbers were very shocking to see. Once again, in all the content from Arena, all the way to the Dragon run that I showed you, and that campaign run. So the only other place outside of Clan Boss is going to be Faction Wars. Obviously, any champion that hits this hard provides increased speed, as well as an attack up on herself, and killing an enemy grants an extra turn. She's going to be amazing in Faction Wars, so definitely keep that in mind. And that is going to wrap up the video today on Hexia, what she can do. Give me your thoughts. What do you think? I'm pretty baffled at this champion. When I first read her kit, as I already mentioned before, I said if they make her damage multipliers good, this is going to be put to good use with someone like Gerptuck, or in any situation where someone's applying debuffs to her, where she can really shine. Even without the debuffs, as we saw in the arena, she's dealing massive damage. Were you expecting that? I know personally I wasn't. Definitely let me know what you think. Are you going to be taking Hexia out of your vault, leveling her up, giving her some playtime? She definitely deserves it. And as always, guys, thanks a ton for watching. If you like this content, don't forget to subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss my next video, and I will see you all in the next upload.